What's up guys, John B here, and I'll show you how I took this photo from this to this, so stay tuned. So this is the picture we'll be working with today. This is a friend Lexi. We went out and shot on a drag bike. One of my buddies, he did some drag racing back in the day, and he had a Suzuki GSXR 1000 that was pretty quick. So they brought it out and wanted to do a shoot with it, and she decided to come along and be the model. So what I'll start off with is start off with my basic menu here, and it's kind of cool. So I'll bump the white balance up just a little bit to give it a little bit warmer touch. I think that looks a little better. I'll come down just a little bit. All right. So just changing the white balance, and I shoot in RAW. So RAW is like back in the day of film. You have to develop the film, and when you shoot in RAW, it's just like film. You have to bring it in, develop it the way you want it, and get the picture you want, because in RAW it captures all the data, so the image comes out, flat like this, and then you add your touches to it, and it'll make your own style. So a lot of times I'll just go through editing and figuring things out as I go along the way, how I want to edit it. So I don't always do everything in the same steps, but this is how we'll do this picture right here. So I'll come down, give it a little bit of vibrance. That way it makes the color pop. And I don't really do much saturation, because when you do saturation, as you see, it brings out the color, but sometimes a little bit too much. So a lot of times I'll just do the vibrance. And then I'll come up here, I'll come to the tone curve. And a lot of times I'll either do the medium or strong contrast, and we'll try the strong today just to give that pop. Kind of like my images to have that pop to it, so they're all flat looking. Sometimes, depending on what kind of image I'm doing, I like the flat look, but for something like this, I want it to pop, because you can see the difference from that to this. And now I'll come up here and choose my black slider, and I'll hold my Alt key, and I'll slide it to the left until I see that right there. I'll slide it back to the right to get rid of that. And when you see what you saw all the stuff pop up on the screen, that means that whatever pops up, you'll have no detail. It's going to be all blacked out. So you go right to the point, and then you back it down some, so you'll still have detail in the blacks. Alright, let's see, that's already looking a lot better. And I might come down here into my sliders and choose the saturation, and this right here you can choose which color, and I want to make the purple pop just a little bit more, so I'll click on it and I'll push my mouse up, and so you pull down, it gets rid of the saturation, the color. You push up, it can go too much. We just want to do just a little bit to make that purple pop a little bit more, and I may come down here on the burgundy and do that also. There we go. So give it a little bit more pop. Yeah, I'm liking that already. And then I learned something a few weeks ago about smoothing skin. It's for a quick way to smooth skin, but I'll come up here to the little gradient filter here, and you come to texture. Then you just take your gradient, and pull up or down, whichever way you want to pull. And you see right now it's had made the skin smoother. I'll zoom in so you can see. Let's see, it made the skin really smooth. But then I'll come down here to the filter mask and choose color, and take the eyedropper tool and click somewhere on her skin. That way, as you saw then, the eyes came back sharp and the hair came back sharp and stuff, because it's just choosing this color of the skin to smooth out. Now hit enter. I'll see how I like it. Let's see, it made her skin a lot smoother. Gets rid of some of the blemishes and stuff. And now what I'll also do is I'll come here and choose my adjustment brush. And her eyebrows and eyelashes are already dark. But a lot of times what I'll do is hit my exposure and lower it down like -10. -10 or -15 normally. And I'll go over the eyebrows and the eyelashes just to give it that little bit of darkness in it, kind of draw your eyes to her eyes. But I don't have to go very much because her makeup was already done really good. And I'll start a new one for the eyelashes. Alright. And now what I'll do is also start another new one and go and do her eyes for I got the iris enhancement. That's what it's called. Right here. I'll come down here and I'll just click on her eyes, and I try not to do too much because I want to keep it still looking natural. I went up a little too much on that one, so I'll hit the O key and I'll hit her, grab an erase brush. I'll just erase where I went up there. And we'll see how that looks. A good difference there. Yeah. I may take the eyes and just reduce it just a little bit because it's a little too much to me. So I'll take the exposure down just a tad, because you don't want, when the picture is zoomed out, you don't want the eyes really looking scary. There we go. That's a lot more natural looking. And I think we're done in the Lightroom, so we'll take it into Photoshop. Alright, now that we're in Photoshop, what I do is I'll hit Control J. That's the first thing I do to duplicate the layer. And then I'll zoom in and check out the scan, see if there's any blemishes that I like to remove. And I'll normally use my healing brush here. And what you can do there is make sure it's on normal for this procedure and current layer. But what I do is I'll hit the Alt key, and that samples the skin near the blemish, and then you just click over blemish, and it just replaces that just like that. You just go in and work with the scan like that until you get it all done. So I'll go through and do all this and get back with you. Alright, I got the skin the way I like it right now. I just did a little quick touch up. But now I'm gonna, this pole right here kind of aggravates me, so I'm gonna remove the pole. So what I'll do is duplicate that layer and go in and remove the pole with the healing brush. Alright, that looks a lot better. And also see a spot on the seat that I want to get. Alright, I kind of like that a lot better now. Got rid of some of the distractions and stuff. And now what I'll do is sometimes I'll take the adjustment brush, we'll see how it looks, and mess with my levels a little bit. Maybe get a little bit more pop. Yeah, like that. Just very little adjustments. So I think I might go down to like 11. So you just add a little bit more contrast to it like that. So like that. And now I'll take it back into Lightroom. Alright, now we're back in Lightroom. just check over a few things. But yeah, so far I like that. And now what I'll do is I'll also sometimes I take things into the Color Effects Pro for. It was a few years ago. It's a free software. So I believe Color Effects has come back out with a new software. It has a lot more to it, but I haven't bought it yet. But it comes with a lot of already presets set up. It's got all kinds of different effects to it. But I have my go-to stuff. I have 3 or 4. I have my go-to here. So this is one I made up. You see, it just has a little bit more contrast and punch to it. And then portrait comes in it already. It's not much different than the one I had. I made up just a little bit more of a hot spots on her skin. And then this is another one I made up with a kind of a classic soft focus, it says. So, but a lot of times I use it or this other one I made up. I'm kind of liking this one for this photo. I'll zoom in and see how it works on her. See it also, the skin, you got the dynamic skin softener here. But since we already softened the skin in Lightroom and in Photoshop, it kind of, well, just in Lightroom on this tutorial, there's not very much of a difference in it here. So I think I may leave it off on this one, because I think that looks good the way it is. Don't want to make the skin not look too realistic. And I'll save it. It takes you back into Lightroom. And now we're back in Lightroom, and pretty much close to a finished product. I may try to add a little bit of vignette on it, see if that'll make it. Oh yeah, I like that, a vignette. Made it pop a little bit more. Draws your attention to her. Yeah, I'm kind of on this one. I'm leaving her skin. I didn't go in. Sometimes I'll go in Photoshop and do all her skin, blend it in a little more. But I'm kind of liking the natural look with this one. So, but yeah, that's a quick way I do pictures. So I didn't really have to do much skin editing or any kind of removals or anything on this photo. But I just want to show you what I do sometimes. And also, I shot this one on my Canon 5D Mark III. I used the Canon 70-200 f2.8 IS2 lens, and I shot it at ISO 250. This shot right here is at 200 millimeters at f4 at 1/200 of a second. And I also use a Flash Point Explorer strobe with I think it's a 36-inch octabox from Alien B. So I had it to my camera right here, fire onto her face. So yeah, only had that one light for right now, but it works really great. But this is how I edit this photo, and I might start doing some more tutorials and showing you how I do photos. So if you enjoyed this one, let me know, and I'll keep on doing them if you like it. Alright, and thanks for watching. See you next time. Later.